Mission Impossible. That's terrible.
We just took 5-second damage for that. 5 sanity loss. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Call of Cthulhu Occult Origins. I'm Grinning Moon, and I will be your host this evening. Tonight, we are presenting the 7th chapter of Occult Origins, Blackwood. Joining me today is the one and only Squingleberg. We had a little bit of a scheduling conflict, so we figured we'll just kind of do this little bit of a, I wouldn't call it a filler episode, but fill in his part of, Will's part of the story. While we do introductions, I'm going to fix my lighting, but go ahead and just introduce your character and what we're doing.
Sure, my name is, of course, Squingleberg. I stream on Twitch sometimes, and I am playing the character of Will Graves, who is the son of my character from Season 1, Billy Graves. Will is a young student going to university, majoring in journalism. He is inquisitive like his father, but has a pretty complicated relationship with him. And his dad's, love of conspiracies and his obsessions with everything that isn't his family. So they had a bit of a complex relationship. He's learned that perhaps maybe his father is dead, and that is still probably something he hasn't completely wrapped his head around. Maybe not sure if he completely believes it, but that's just what he was told. So yeah, I'm really excited to tell this little side story here, and I'm especially excited for the next session for us to all get back together.
Beautiful. And with kind of that all wrapped up, just a reminder, you can still use Fate Dice Redeem, even if for characters who aren't here, if you want them to have it, but that's all there for your viewing pleasure. And without further ado, let's get the trailer rolling and set the stage for the evening. See you soon. And as we all pop back in here, we will be picking up this session when about a week before, all kind of when Will leaves the group, and this is shortly after Livy has her exchange with Samuel Wright, and is able to change his mind. So with that in mind, let's get the stage set.
I'm splashing at the beach. Will has a beach day like in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah,
every
it's
anime.
vacation. It's the vacation episode.
Yeah.
The moon wanes over the city in the early morning, basking the street in cold, pale hues. A motor carriage rolls down the rain-soaked cobblestones of the dock district. The car pulls to the side of the road and idles outside of a firehouse. Will, your eyes open as you hear the car stop and idle outside.
Right, so kind of like roll over to my side and make sure I could see all my things kind of neatly packed as I had prepared the night before. Is everyone sleeping around me? at this point, or what's that look like?
As you scan the room, Rory and Morgan both are sleeping soundly, while Livy stirs slightly in her sleep.
All right, I'll slowly kind of move my weight and making sure the bed doesn't creak, and set my feet down and slowly slide my shoes on and grab my things. And
As you kind of slide out, you're already fully clothed, and all you have to do is slip on your shoes before grabbing your bags and slinking out of the quarters. Floor creaks slightly as you pass through the parlor, downstairs, and creep out the back door.
particularly worried about waking Livy as I maybe behind, as I go by here, I move even quieter.
Just move super slow.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on her. She kind of just... and she just like itches her nose and kind of... yes. As you creep out the back door, you saunter down the alley and beeline for the motor carriage across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Car door opens, Will enters. You hear that shut before the car rumbles away into the darkness of the early morning. As we kind of flash over, the gravel crunches under the motor carriage's wheels as the brakes squeal a little bit as Will arrives at the cabin, Billy's cabin. The driver, an older man, kind of leans over and turns around a little bit. It's like, you need me to just wait outside for you, or are you going to be a while?
Why don't you wait here for a little bit? What'd you say your name was?
Oh, Eunice.
Eunice. And I'll slip Eunice a couple extra bucks. Like, why don't you wait here, and I'll if I end up staying, I'll come and let you know.
All right, sounds good. He pulls open the dashboard and pulls out a book. Begins open it open and read.
Okay.
As you
I'll head inside and kind of taking surveillance. Is this a cabin I've been to before? Yeah, right.
Yes, this is you were here before. So
so yeah, some memories are kind of coming back.
Yeah. This is the old summer house, and then also you were here first to find the papers, and you couldn't.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
At the beginning of all this.
That's right. So I kind of like, I'm back here again, and I'm kind of thinking back to that just wild dream I had, where Billy told me where I could find some of the family paperwork underneath the floorboards. Kind of like, can't believe I'm back here. Yeah, underneath the rocking chair. That's right.
Yeah.
So, kind of mutters to himself, I can't believe I'm back here. This is fucking stupid. And I'll go inside.
Pretty. Take care of that in a second. So as Will enters the cabin, he retraces his own steps in the dust. As they pass the rocking chair, he stops and slides it over, dropping to his knees and fruitlessly clawing at the floorboards for a moment. As he scans the room quickly, he spots a worn hunting knife nearby and grabs it and begins looking for a loose board among the floorboards. After a few moments, the knife finds purchase in a crack, and with a wiggle, the board comes free. And in the dead, dusty space, an old picture lies.
gonna reach in and pick up the photo and blow off the dust. Who's on it?
On the picture, as you brush it off, you reveal an image of a young boy pushing a newborn baby in a wheelbarrow.
Kind of smiled to myself and Arthur. Turn it over. See if I could find a date on the back or something.
On the back, your birthday's written. 10/23/01.
I'll head back upstairs to his, of course making sure that was the only thing in there.
Yeah. As you look in,
Yeah.
it's just more cobwebs and dust bunnies.
Yeah. Like, why did he put this underneath the floorboards? Kind of go upstairs back to his desk, holding the picture in my hand.
As you enter the study, you look around and notice that well, it's just as you left it. The place is still somewhat a mess. The crazy wall is still there with all the different strings and articles. And there is a safe in the corner.
See, I remember I tried looking at that last time and I had no idea what to use. But kind of look at, is it like a combination lock safe?
Yeah, it's the dial.
Okay. I'll go ahead and I'll try to open the safe again, but I'll use I'll use my birthday as the combination.
The lock spins under your hand, and as you flick the to each number, and as you flick to the last one, you hear the safe click, a soft click in the safe. As you grab the handle and turn it, it comes loose, and the hinges squeal as the door opens. Inside, you find bank account numbers, the deed to this cabin, and also another one near Arkham. As you look at the title, you see that it's made out to Arthur Blackwood. As well,
Arthur Blackwood.
near the back, as you pull the documents out, you see a single iron key near the back.
Well, I'll let out a sigh of kind of relief and disbelief at the same time. Like, oh, the dream was. What are the odds? I'll put the documents. See if I could like find a little like folder that I could put them into and on the desk. Kind of collect everything that's relevant to the estate, to the family's estate. I'm assuming, is this everything I need to like get power of attorney and everything?
Oh yes. As you look it over, it's pretty much everything from the bank account numbers to the actual like deed to this place,
Deeds and everything. Yeah.
Power of attorney, and there's no living will, but that's not
Okay.
exactly the worst thing when there's next of kin. So, welcome in, Raiders. Thanks, Melly.
Hi everyone. Livy, I miss you.
We're just in the middle
Livy,
of
I'm
a
sorry, I ran away, Livy. I ran.
As we kind of pull the items and you start looking around for for an envelope to carry them in.
Mm-hmm.
You scan the dusty shelves and the tangled evidence board, the cluttered desk, and finally spot a manila envelope. As you stow away the documents, something catches your eye in the tangled mess of the evidence board, if you can call it that.
Mm-hmm.
You set the files down and approach before examining it closely. As you begin to look among the tangled mess of conspiracy theories, cryptids, and ghost stories, you suddenly find what you caught your eye to begin with. Public records of a Weatherwood organization funded churches along the East Coast.
I'll reach out and pull it off and give it a quick study. Like, was that son of a bitch really onto something? And I'll look at the rest of it, see if I could find any other keywords. Looking for Weatherwood. What was it? The green room? Wasn't that something that I heard of?
There's the garden and the greenhouse.
The garden, yeah. I want to look out for some of those keywords that I know associated to Weatherwood and like scan the rest of the evidence board.
As you scan for these specific things, nothing really comes out readily.
Yeah.
And as you kind of begin to tear articles that are just nonsense off the wall and begin throwing them away.
Bat boy. Mm-hmm. That was
no, not this. The Chupacabras this far north. That's crazy. So all that stuff, kind of a trash can slowly begins to kind of overflow with crumpled clippings and yarn, as Will kind of susses out the documents. And he finds articles of Weatherwood-funded churches, archaeological digs across the globe, and a few, only 2 of them, but very official-looking documents that seem to be ethical reviews of an asylum nicknamed, or codenamed, the Garden. And you notice that among the symptoms these patients are experiencing, you see outbreaks of sleeping sickness are one of the side effects.
Which is what my mom has.
What the doctors call it, yeah.
What the fuck? I'm like looking through, like I think probably like at this point I've made a huge mess between tearing things down and like I'm gonna set like would there be a second envelope or something like that on the desk, or like a way to collect all these other files that's separate from...
You were surprised. You actually look at the envelope that you had and it was like just one from like UPS or something like that.
Yeah.
And your dad was... Most of these things are just in piles, so your dad wasn't the most organized things. So that envelope that you found was a godsend.
So I guess I'll
it is big enough to hold everything, though.
Make a clear way to denote which paperwork is what, like a divider in there that I can recall and remember, and then I'm just like I grab everything that's relevant, and I'm just like absolutely floored that this dream actually led somewhere, and maybe he wasn't completely crazy, so I'm kind of having a moment, and I kind of look down as I'm like packing all this stuff, and I see one of his, not like the knife I used to pry up the floorboards, and I'll put it in a bag, I imagine I have a bag or something that I'll take it. I'll make sure I take the knife.
Okay. We'll even like extend that moment a little bit, and you like have a moment where you just don't have a place to put a knife.
Yeah.
But then you see one of his old knife holders that you attach to the belt, the leather ones that he had like a couple of. It's a little worn. There's a couple holes in it, but it'll do the job.
Yeah.
And you kind of attach that to your belt, which looks a little out of place with your own.
Yeah. So, like college attire, like
Right.
prep school shit.
But it does sit snugly, and you won't lose it.
Okay.
Or accidentally stab yourself with it.
Wouldn't put it past him.
Right. So
no, Will taught him. Billy taught me some stuff, so
yeah.
I'm familiar with knives a little bit.
Right. As you kind of step back and just take one last look at the board, you hear the crunch of gravel outside. Your heart kind of skips a little bit as you think that the driver's just leaving. And
yeah.
To be fair, it has been a little bit. You look out and you let him hang for a little bit. So you rush to the window, and as you look outside, you spot a black Model T come up to a stop next to the cabbie on the dirt road.
A black Model T?
Yes.
Is that the... Does it look like the same car, the same like model that the Weatherwoods are driving?
They're freaking everywhere, but
yeah, but
these ones are a little bit more pristine, and this one just looks like it has the dirt of the trip here.
Shit. I'll like...
Definitely a city car.
I mean, I kind of look around, and I've made a mess. It's obvious that someone's been here, and I'm like, fuck. Is there like, Billy's? Am I on the second floor?
Yeah, you're on the second floor.
All right. Is there like a way that I would know of to get that I could like get out of? Like, I know this. Like, I hung out here as a kid, right?
Yeah. As a kid,
like
you could sneak out of the window, but
okay,
you're looking at it and it looks like you could fit, but it'd be a little
maybe
tight.
not. Okay, I'll. Before I do that, I want to see like.
As you kind of think,
I want to see like who gets out of the car. What exactly am I working with? Like how many people?
Fair enough. As two G-men step out of the car, they close the doors behind them and saunter to either side of the motor carriage. One at the passenger side, one at the driver's side. And begin to engage the driver in inaudible conversation from here.
I can't hear them, you say?
Correct.
And you say two?
Yes.
I'm like muttering to myself, like, let him go away, let him drive away. Get out of here, fuck. I'm like looking around, seeing like, okay, are they good? They're gonna come here. All right, I'll go and start like opening the window. Is it a window that opens? Like what kind of window is it?
Unfortunately, it doesn't open. It's one of those framed in.
Yeah.
It's a single pane and frame.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then I'll try to get out.
It used to open, but then your dad sealed it after after you fell off the roof one day.
That's fair. Yeah.
Thinking you were
All
Batman.
Right. So I guess I'll try to fit out the window while they're still talking to someone.
As you kind of look out and approach the window and begin kind of reel your hand back to kind of punch through it, you hear gunshots go off outside.
Oh. Fuck. Shit. I look over. I want to. Is this door to the safe open or closed?
It's open.
I want to. Before I leave, I want to close it and spin it, and then get the fuck out.
Okay. As you kind of double back, the horn kind of starts going off steadily, abruptly after those shots. And for a few moments as you kind of slam the safe shut.
They shot him. Fuck.
And spin the dial. As you rush to grab all your things and head to the window, you hear footsteps climb the stoop outside.
All right, I'll do my best to move silently. Is there a silent check I can roll?
I think it's stealth. Hold on, let me double check what it's worded as.
Stealth.
Yeah, I think it's stealth.
I have stealth.
First rule is stealth. Yeah, go for it.
All right. Fuck. 63. Ah.
Okay. Would you like to use?
Yeah, I'll use one of my fates.
Okay, fair enough. We'll avoid that with that. Oh.
Oh, thank you, chatters, for the fate rolls.
And there we go. Oop. So with that turns that that spot. Well, that was a spot hidden roll.
Oh, yeah.
We'll keep
I still
the
think
40.
it would have been a fail. Yeah.
But we'll turn that into a success, a regular success. And what is your plan?
Okay, my plan is to move as silently as I possibly can. Now that I've gotten my things, the safe is closed. I want to get out the window, and God, should I try to take their car or run into the woods?
Maybe we'll figure out how to get through the window quietly first.
Yeah, okay.
We got another one. Sorry. As you run over to the window, you quickly take off your sweater or vest. What are you wearing? One of those, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
And like ball it up, put it against the window, and hit your elbow against it.
Okay.
And you hear a definite thump and a crack, but it's not a complete shatter.
Yeah. A lot quieter than it would have been.
Absolutely. Don't mind me, I'm just rolling random dice. Pay no attention to those random dice. They have no implications on this situation whatsoever. So as that occurs, sorry, I'm trying to do like too much. Do one. So the glass begins to break, and you begin to kind of knock out the frame, or the pane, I should say. And just as that happens, the door blasts open with a kick from downstairs, and you hear them file in quickly downstairs. As you begin squeaking through, I'm going to need a dexterity check.
Ay. Come on. Give me that good. No! 75.
Well, Melee did just give you another.
Oh god, I'm going to use it.
Okay, we'll do that.
I got to get out of here.
That'll save me from putting another ticker on there anyway, so.
All these people are giving... I cannot fail. The fate is on my side.
So as you kind of climb through, you're able to navigate and avoid most of the glass shards around, and rip only a little bit of your clothes as you come out, and get just minor scratches. As you kind of tumble out onto the roof, you scramble across to the edge and look down. It's a 15-foot drop.
15 feet? Fuck. I'll hesitate a quick moment, but then kind of like look back. Like, what do I hear? Like them getting closer? What do I hear from inside?
As you hear them, as you listen back inside, you hear them yell "Clear!" from downstairs, and you hear them begin to ascend the stairs.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna try to climb down.
As you attempt to climb, go ahead and give me a climb roll.
Oh, I'm not the best at it. Come on, come on. Yes!
Okay,
climb,
cool.
baby, climb!
Holy shit. That's a hard success. As you kind of like, you just basically Assassin's Creed it, and you didn't realize you could. It's one of those, just adrenaline takes over. You grab the edge, and you just kind of drop down, land.
Tuck and roll, like, I can't believe I did it.
And then you just like peel out across the lawn as fast as you can. I just need... we won't make it a roll. You've already done enough. As you sprint across the lawn, you hear from behind you some just incoherent shouting. And as you just make it to the trees, you hear the sound of gunfire behind you sound off. And... all
shit!
that fun stuff. And as they ring out behind you, splinters spray out of the trees as bullets whiz by you, as you sprint serpentining into the woods.
Serpentine, yeah, serpentine!
Your heart pounds and your lungs burn as you stumble, rush through bramble brush and flee madly into the forest. Like your father.
These woods, right?
All those years ago.
Yeah.
You do know these woods, but...
Okay.
And at this moment, I think your feet are just carrying you.
Yeah, I'm just fucking hauling ass.
And as he skates out of there, with only minor scratches and some torn clothing, we'll end this scene as he kind of disappears and weaves his way into the forest.
You mind if I grab another drink real quick? Just take a quick break?
That is fine. I have plenty of people I can thank and stuff for coming in, so I'll take that.
Yeah, let's do that and let them know what we're doing. I'll be back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Welcome in, everybody. I'll just put on some like music right now. Why not, right? So, this is kind of a little too dark. Let's go with this one. Yeah, there we go. I like this one. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. If you don't know me, I'm Grinning Moon. Thank you, welcome raiders. Melly, thank you for the raid. Appreciate you. Welcome in, everybody. We do a little bit of our own show here, basically. It's got no budget, but we put a lot of passion into it. It's Occult Origins. All the stuff's on YouTube if you want to go check that out. I think I have it here. If I have it typed there, it would help. There we go. No. Helps to do that. There we go. So the top one, Tabletop RPGs, all the archives are there. Don't get me wrong, there's some production problems with the early stuff, but it gets better as you go. That being said, yeah. We tell stories here. I play hard video games in hard ways, and yeah. Right now we're doing the 7th chapter of our 2nd season, and we're kind of covering the events that kind of happened to Will as he's separated from the group. So.
And you don't just do hard video games, you actively choose to make them harder by like, oh yeah, I'm gonna die no times or something.
I'm not gonna level up.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, what kind of? Yeah, that's insanity.
Yeah, I'm just a masochist, so you know. Yeah. I just want to share the love. So with that all wrapped up, we're going to go ahead.
Share the love and experience pain.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, all those Drow and Slaneshi people, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and just bring this back. And as we bring back the scene, here we go. Will was just stumbling through the forest. It's probably hours past.
Yeah.
Since that moment, that adrenaline, and the sky falls into amber and violet hues as you kind of stumble and emerge from the woods on a rural stretch of road.
Let's see if I can make it. Ooh, there we go. Moody.
And as you kind of walk along the stretch for a while, occasionally sticking a thumb out for cars as they flit by you. You travel for what feels like a long while. And as the last lights of the evening kind of dissipate and the stars overhead kind of begin to illuminate, ahead, a warm, incandescent light kind of glows ahead. As you make your way over the hill and it comes into view, a roadside diner glows warmly in the gloaming as you head towards it, head into the empty parking lot.
Like maybe breathing heavily. You ever see the butterfly effect? Where
Yes.
Ashton Kutcher's running like a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was running.
Yes, perfect.
So like, yeah, it's a very exhausting way to run. So I'm very tired.
Yeah.
Wigs in my hair and shit, dirty, covered in like sap and kind of scratches and stuff. I'm probably starving.
Oh yeah.
And this is a diner.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go in and run into the restroom and see if I could clean myself up a bit.
As you enter, a bell chimes above you, and the smell of stale coffee and cigarettes can greet you warmly. A middle-aged woman with red hair and a wrinkled pink waitress uniform stands at the counter, reading a newspaper and smoking a cigarette. She doesn't acknowledge you as you walk past her to head to the bathroom and clean up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe like wet some cloth, try to get some of the obvious cuts and sap bits out of my hair and stuff, and get as presentable as possible before going out. And it's late. Wait, it's late or early? Sorry,
It's late.
it's late.
It's just like just after dusk.
Yeah, and I'm fucking exhausted. So I'm gonna go get. I'll get some coffee, eggs and toast, and make sure I prepay because I know I look like hell.
As you kind of go out, she doesn't look up from her paper again. Just sit wherever you like, hon. I'll be with you just a sec.
Okay. I'll sit down, and while I'm waiting for her, I'll take out my journal and notate a couple very just the details of what happened, approximately the time that they happened, especially shots fired at this time, heard horn, driver expected dead, comma Eunice was his name, I believe.
Yes.
Eunice, driver name. Any details that we may have talked about. Weatherwood. Do I remember the license plate?
You probably do, and it's.
I'm a quick study.
Yeah.
So.
You probably do, and I don't know the formats at that time, so we're just gonna say it's.
Sure. Yeah.
ABA 22 or something.
ABA 22, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
420 Blaze.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'll write down the description of anything I could remember about it, like I usually do after the things. Okay. So that's what I'm doing while I wait.
And as you kind of jot down these things, she comes over and stops kind of suddenly as she notices you. You did your best in the bathroom, but you still have open cuts.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Your hair's as basically licked and slicked into places. So,
yeah.
You all right, hun?
Yeah. My fraternity is doing it's hazing, hazing season. So, get lost out in the woods, make your way back kind of thing. Tired. I'm just tired. Is there a payphone outside by any chance?
No, but we got one around the corner if you want, just right there. And she kind of points at the end of the bar.
Great. Well, I'd love some coffee and eggs sunny side up with some wheat toast, if I could.
Okay, we can definitely do that for you. Do you want milk or sugar in that coffee?
Just milk.
Okay. I'll get that right for you.
And I'll kind of, I'm still kind of scribbling in my journal, and I'll take it over, and
I'd like to do a little creative spin with this, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
So with that, we kind of montage the journal writing into as you kind of eat, you're writing the journal, and then you're in the car on the way there. In the motor carriage, you're kind of jotting down notes with the files next to you on the bench seat. And as you kind of finish up your notes on your ride back to campus, your eyelids grow heavy, and your head you let your head rest against the window pane, and you drift off for what feels like a moment before you're roused by the metallic thump on the roof of a car. That was not metallic thump that I did.
Yeah,
slap.
But I could picture it now. Thunk thunk.
Yes. As you come to, you're sitting at the campus, and the driver's sitting at your opening up the door for you. I got other things to do, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No mind.
Pay him some money, give him a little bit extra, and
gather your things, including the envelope.
Yep. I am obsessively got that envelope tucked underneath my arm at all times and not letting it out of my sight.
Yeah. And despite how sleepy you are, it's still the middle of the night. As you kind of look at the watch, the clock in the quad, you see that it reads 1 a.m. And as you kind of head up to your dorm, the soft snores of Paul greet you in the untidy half of his dorm, at least.
It all went to shit since the last time I was gone, of course.
Right. And as you kind of just lumber over to the bed, slap the files onto the table next to you, collapse, you pass out.
I'd put him under the bed.
Okay.
Under the mattress.
That's fair. You have just enough energy just to kind of slip them underneath there, and pretty much half out of bed, you fall asleep, fully clothed, shoes still on. As things happen when you never have enough time to sleep, the next morning comes almost instantaneously. And you do your best to pick up your routine and attend classes. Take care of your hygiene, take a proper shower, get ready for class.
Get some Band-Aids, get my stuff cleaned out, wash my clothes.
Get the handy dandy on the hair, all that fun stuff.
Most important to Will, have I talked to the lawyers yet?
It is still early morning, and you're doing this probably
like...
before they wake up and before your classes.
But yeah, that's my intention, is to wake up but get that ball rolling.
Sounds good. And you realize there's a little bit of a class conflict, but you'll be able to at least reach out probably after class to him.
Yeah. Well, I also feel like there's usually in schools there's some kind of dispensation involved with like when there's like family emergencies and stuff like that. So
That's fair.
maybe like
Maybe you're just a little late.
yeah, I've arranged something with the school to like take care of, family business,
Fair.
knowing that like, hey, my mom is sick.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we'll play with that.
I could be on thin ice. You're on thin ice, Graves.
That's fair.
You showed so much promise.
Hate to see one with so much promise slack off.
Yeah,
Slacker.
That's slacking off, Professor. I swear. I'll be back. I'll try harder.
That conversation, I'm sure, happens.
Yeah, where we montage it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, but as you kind of fall back into your routine, you reach out to the lawyers at the first thing in the morning, letting me know you have your documents, and that you'll be able to get them by the end of the day. Go through classes, and all the while your mind races with paranoia, kind of letting everything else kind of drone on in the background.
Yeah. Is there like an archaeology department at school?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah? Do you think I could like kind of go talk to one of them? Let's see if I could like sit in on a class and like maybe go and approach one afterward, like a professor.
Yeah, in between a couple of your classes, you do exactly that. You kind of squeak in about 2/3 and away through the class and sit in for that last bit of the lecture.
Like Professor Dorflinger.
Yep, Dorflinger. Yep, he's a expert on Sumerian and Hyperborean. Well, he doesn't tote that as much.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But ancient culture and stuff like that.
Sure. So like maybe I could maybe I have the relevant like article that I found on Billy's evidence board of the digs.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I attend a class.
Okay. And he drones on about how the end of the class is more him just more or less repeating himself multiple times in different ways on how the Sumerians were the original, and really there was possibly theories, at least, of other civilizations before the Sumerians, but as far as categorical and proven history is, Sumerians are as far back as we go. And he then alludes kind of at the end of the lecture that maybe he will talk about the theoretical histories if we get far enough in the program. We can do that, but that is all for today. Thank you. And class kind of gets up and begins filing out of the classroom. He begins wiping the board and resetting for the next class.
So yeah, I'll approach the professor. Pardon me, Professor Dorflinger.
Yes. Bobby.
Yeah, Will. Bobby's fine, but I prefer Will.
Okay.
Hi. I'm not usually in this class, but I am working on something, a project for for my journalism class, and I'm wondering if I could just ask you a couple really quick questions.
Sure. I'm more than happy to help.
And I kind of look at the document and I'm curious about ancient Sumerian cultures and dig sites. Where exactly can you find evidence of the ancient Sumerian culture?
Well,
Is this all like in the Middle East?
Their empire stretched mostly through the Middle East, that is true. But there is, well, again, this is more theoretical, that there are more ancient sites scattered across the globe that predate the ones at Sumeria. Those are located, well, there's some in South America, there's some in Africa. Australia, I believe, even has a site that claims to...
All over.
Mhm.
So did the ancient Sumerians, like, did they master travel at sea? Like, how could an ancient civilization like that have such a wide, leave so much evidence all across the globe, even though it's like, we're talking pre-Columbian exploration here.
Well, the evidence becomes harder to interpret, and the fact of physical evidence deteriorating and whatnot, it is hard to tell exactly and date things exactly with the technology we have today. But there is theories that there is civilizations that are more ancient than even Sumerians. I mean, even the forgotten books of Jehovah mention a civilization that was great that more or less, at least in academical terms, was replaced by the creation myth of Adam and Eve. So there's lots of things, and there's lots of research. I can give you some articles or some books to read if you'd like to look into it, but it's mostly unproven and theoretical at this point.
Definitely love that, as I'll take down any article and book names.
Jot some off,
yeah. And I'm curious, so this kind of research into this ancient Sumerian, some of these areas of like what fringe archaeology would you call it? Theoretical archaeology.
Yes. That's a good term for it.
Who's funding this type of research? I would say, is this coming from colleges, governments? Who's...
Well, mostly the colleges are being funded by private organizations, interested investors, and collectors. Sometimes a museum or a local government will pay for a archaeological dig, but it's very rare. It's usually the former.
So, I'm just saying hypothetically, Professor, if one was on such an expedition and found items or artifacts of interest, and these private investors would like to keep some for a private collection, is that something that happens sometimes, theoretically, maybe?
Officially, no, but the real world has all sorts of thieves.
Thieves? Treasure hunters?
These things are artifacts that don't really belong to our culture or things, and we put them in boxes. There is certain people in the community who believe that these artifacts should be returned to their countries of origin for cultural and honestly social reasons. But there is obviously the other argument that usually wins out. To the victor goes the spoils.
I see. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. What about private organization, the Weatherwoods? Have you ever heard of Weatherwood Foundation promoting such research?
Oh yes, they haven't done much in the recent years, but yes, back in 10 years ago or so, they were funding all sorts of expeditions. I believe they funded one from here that went to Peru.
One from here, like our school?
Yes.
Oh.
Some of the students were given funding and supported by them to research some things.
I see.
I
Well,
don't know the full story or the details, but
thank you. Thank you. This has been incredibly valuable. I appreciate your time,
of
Professor.
course, of course. If you don't mind, I need to prepare for the
Indeed.
next class.
Yes, of course. And I'll go ahead and leave and start, jotting down what I learned in the journal.
Okay. As you just realized I'm in the wrong spot. As the day kind of closes. Oh wait, sorry, no. As you head out to class, you reach out to the lawyers once more. Set up all the make arrangements for the estate and her care, and then finally go visit your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a quiet little montage of him just sitting silently in the room for a good little while.
Yeah, maybe I'll read to her.
Yeah. With as we kind of pass away from that scene, we kind of cut over to Will in his dorm. It's quiet as you kind of pore over the documents under the light of a desk lamp. You can start making vague and circumstantial connections between all the things with the information you have, Weatherwood's activities, sleeping sickness, but this is all circumstantial.
Yeah.
And you'll need more hard evidence to confirm really anything.
Mm-hmm.
You glance at the Blackwood cabin deed and look it over one more time. There's nothing particularly interesting about the document.
Mm-hmm.
Although the address has been crossed out, a set of numbers have been written underneath.
Can I see what the numbers are before?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a regular address.
Huh.
But it's just single
Weird.
line crossed out. There's a set of numbers underneath.
Are they drastically different?
The set of numbers?
Yeah.
No, like it's 12 Penny Lane or something like that. This is just a sequence of numbers.
Updation. Gotcha.
And as you kind of look at them, you think maybe they're coordinates. And you pull out your notebook to kind of like jot them down.
Like an atlas or something, yeah.
And
Yeah, go ahead, notebook. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as you kind of like look to get up and kind of stand up, you're kind of a little bit of excitement as you're about to like go get your atlas. The door just bursts open behind you, and Paul is carried into the dorm, drunk as a fish.
Oh shit.
His frat mates drop him onto his bunk and kind of like nod at you before they depart once more, leaving the door open behind them.
Oh, god damn it. Paul, dude.
Hey, Willie.
Man,
How is your trip?
it was alright, Paul. I go over and I get him I pour him a glass of water. It's like,
Oh, thanks,
guys,
man. I don't like water, but okay.
come on, drink some. You'll feel better tomorrow. Come on, Paul, drink.
I'm good. I'm good. So so your trip, how was it?
Family stuff, man. My mom's still sick.
Oh.
Not doing super well, dude.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So the fraternity,
yeah.
is gonna initiate me tomorrow.
Oh yeah, how does that make you feel? You excited?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
Great, Paul.
One of the
I'm excited.
brothers.
I'm glad you're happy.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Was it your dad in that fraternity?
Oh yeah, he was a Delta before I ever was, but yeah, just a family tradition.
Yeah.
All right.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, you You sleep okay? I'm gonna do a little bit more homework here before bed, alright?
All right. Good night, Willie. He kind of just collapses onto his bed.
I like look at him a little bit and roll my eyes. Good night, Paul.
And as his head hits the pillow with a thump, he immediately begins snoring softly. As you kind of work your way into the night and eventually go to bed, you are able to kind of rest, get some sleep. The next day, you're jerked awake to a...
Jesus. I shoot out of bed. What's going on?
Go ahead and roll me an intelligence roll.
$32.
Your heart almost falls into your stomach, but then you wait for a moment and you just kind of sit tight. You're on the third floor. If they're there, there's no way out. There's a little bit of stress in your heart, and and it kind of falls into your stomach a little bit. But
yeah,
the best thing to do is remain calm.
Okay.
Paul rolls out of bed and sleepily stumbles over to the door to answer it. As Paul opens the door, a group of cloaked men sit outside. One holds a paddle with the letters D-I-K engraved across it. Paul tries to close the door, but they burst in and they lift him off his feet, carrying him down the hall, chanting, Delta, Iota, Kappa, Delta, Iota, Kappa, Delta, Iota, Kappa. And as you kind of close the door behind them and the chants trail off down the hall, you breathe a sigh of relief.
I shake my head.
With that intelligence roll, I'll kind of roll this over into this. You just realize that you kind of got caught in the worst with your pants down there.
Yeah.
If this was the worst case scenario here, you would have had nothing. And you decide from now on you're going to be a little bit smarter.
So I kind of think back at like my mind can't help but like think about Frank and go like, what would Frank would be pissed that I'd let
Hank,
not Frank. Sorry, Hank would be pissed if I let my if I was caught lacking, like this unprepared. Fuck. I'm gonna make like a bug out bag.
Okay. And
pack like some emergency supplies, a couple snacks,
yeah,
and a couple pairs of clothes.
Yeah. You grab your brother's rucksack.
Yeah.
And you throw the your personal effects, all the supplies and stuff in there.
And the hunting knife.
Okay. You also throw the key and stow the files there.
Yeah. Definitely. Is there like a place? So I'm like, nah. If I keep it in my room, if someone really wanted to, they just tear the place apart. Yeah. I want to find a spot that I could like maybe stash it in that I know someone wouldn't necessarily look. That I could come back for if I need to find it.
You could think of a few places that might work, but what you're thinking probably would have
maybe
the
like
best
somewhere
access.
on the quad.
Yeah, like a bush on the quad. There's like a particular area on the campus that doesn't really get that much traffic, and you'll kind of store it over there. It's also right next to the woods, so if you need to bug out, you can kind of do that.
Okay, I'll stash it.
You kind of create a little bit of a plan where you'll go to like a diner or something to make a call after you grab the bug out bag in case, and you kind of have this in the back of your mind as you progress through the next few days. You when you're not at class, you do carry it with you. You take your personal studies to the library and other public places just to make sure you're not cornered again.
Yeah.
And in that time, you are able to look at an atlas and discover that the numbers are indeed coordinates to a location on the outskirts of Arkham, Massachusetts.
Interesting.
Around noon on the third day back, you're in another class, and the professor drones on about the real-world applications of formatting. It is a riveting lecture.
Yeah.
Paul jots down notes periodically next to you as he does his best to keep focused on the lecture. And as you're kind of talking, the professor trails off as a pair of figures darken the frosted glass door near the front.
Kind of noticing the professor's distracted, I'll kind of look out behind me, see what's causing this.
So just to kind of give a layout, it's kind of one of those lecture halls.
Yeah.
And at the back top, there's doors, and then
And
kind of
maybe
near the desk at the front, there's a door, and they're up at the front one.
They're at the front door?
Yes.
Okay.
So as he excuses himself for a moment, he heads over and opens the door. You spot from your angle a sliver of a suited man flashing some kind of badge to the professor through the doorway. Your heart begins to race.
It's Weatherwood.
It looks like Weatherwood.
Fuck. All right. I'm like thinking to myself, look out for the back exits. Like bug out. Okay. And I turn to Paul, and I'm like, hey, pal.
Yeah. What's up?
I need a favor, big favor. All right.
What's that?
Listen, I'm in a little trouble. All right.
With you?
Yeah, I know. I was trying to impress a gal.
Listen. Don't even say anything. I got you. What do you need?
They're gonna come asking for me. I need you to tell them I've been sick all day. I'm at home in the dorm with diarrhea.
All right. I didn't see you.
Say that.
You're sick all day and like you got diarrhea, man.
You're a swell pal, Paul. Clap him on the shoulder and grab my bag and get the fuck out, like through the other door.
As you kind of skate off, you leave a couple things on your desk, and he kind of just scoots them over to his own. And then as
Give him a wink.
As you kind of slink out the back door, you hear a bit of a shout from inside the lecture hall as the door closes behind you. As you hear this, you sprint down the hallway.
I'm fucking hightailing it, baby.
As your shoes squeak around corners and your footsteps echo down the stairwells, you make your way down and burst out of the building into the quad. You streak through the area and beeline to the rucksack. Basically diving into the bushes and like kind of doing a tumble out with the rucksack on you. You like run, Naruto run, basically to the forest.
Yeah.
And to get off campus and out of Dodge.
I'm getting the fuck out of there.
As you kind of roll into town with no signs of being followed, you arrange a ride to take you to Blackwood cabin in Arkham. And right here is where we'll take a break. When we come back,
Sneaky Will. Agent 00 Will, reporting for duty.
and when we come back, we'll pick up this where we left off and finish off the
Mission Impossible. That's terrible.
We just took 5-second damage for that. 5 sanity loss. Alright.
Oh, no.
Alright. We'll see you here soon. We're taking a little bit of a break, and we'll be back here. Take it easy. Hello, and as I materialize, and I hit my buttons so that things are in the right place, we are back. With the second part of our chapter 7 here. Will is on the run. And after...
And they'll never catch me!
And they'll never catch you. That is partially true. We'll just wait for the song to go. He's on the lamb!
Yes.
Are you on the lamb? So, after a lengthy ride across rolling hills, entangled woods, your cabbie comes to a stop on a rural stretch of road. The gloaming seeps through the gnarled, twisted boughs and branches above, encroaching the road. A hint of an old, overgrown footpath.
The car is really struggling. Holy shit!
Right? It's
Like,
going up a hill.
Oh god, we're gonna make it.
It's a 2-stroke. Give it a chance.
Yeah. I'm like going in there, like, come on, you can make it. Jesus Christ!
And as you stop, the twisted boughs and branches kind of like encroach the road. There's just a hint of an old, overgrown footpath that serpentines deeper into the wood. Driver kind of turns back to you. Younger man, he's like, is this the place?
I think it might be. Do I see any address markings?
No, just the single footpath, overgrown footpath.
All right, well, I think it might be.
Will you need a ride back?
I'm like thinking back to the last driver, and I go, I'll be all right. I'll call if I need it.
Okay.
Does your dispatch have a number?
Oh yeah, he produces a card and gives it to you. Anytime, day or night.
Yeah. Awesome, thanks.
Anytime.
I mean, swell.
And
is that 50s or 20s? I don't know.
I think that's 50s. I'm not sure. Oh well. Who cares? I'm using
swell.
Let's Go and like
yeah.
a lot of
gnarly, says Will.
Bitchin'.
That's super radical. That's bitchin'. All right. No, fam, that's cap.
Oh god. Anyway, back on track. So,
Yes.
As the car rumbles off behind you, you sling the rucksack over your shoulder and light your lantern before entering the woods along the footpath. The trees are dense and clustered together, and the canopy above blocks out all but the faint hints of the sky. Eventually, you emerge from the twisting trail into a clearing, a log cabin that Will has never seen, but it is identical to the one that Billy visited all those years ago.
Well, kind of look around a little bit and take stock of the area and take a deep breath and walk up to the building.
It's overgrown, and obviously unkempt, but you're able to kind of pass through the practical brush of the front lawn and make your way to the front door. So you
reach out the key.
Yeah, grab the key and insert into the lock. It turns with a click, and the door opens.
All right, I'll push the door open and take a step in. What do I see?
As you enter, the sickly sweet smell of rotting paper greets you.
Like that sound.
And as you enter into a large parlor lined with dusty filing cabinets. Cobwebs hang across a small kitchen with decade-old coffee still on the counter and a store of pickled and canned goods in the open pantry. 2 bedrooms are near the back. One is seemingly abandoned, with personal effects and a leather-bound journal left behind. As you just kind of peek into the other room, it's tidy and clean despite the disuse and
Yeah,
cobwebs.
like it was left in a decent shape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Huh.
So
It's just like someone just decided to stop coming in one day.
Yep. And back in the parlor, a hatch door leads down. Well, a hatch door sits in the middle of the floor. You see that there's lanterns around. And
yeah, I'll light a couple of the lanterns, and I think the very first place that stood out to Billy's got to be the journal. I got to start at the journal.
As you go back over inside the room, pick up the journal, you flip to the first page, and you see that this is the journal of Arthur Blackwood. As you kind of flip to the first entry and flip to the last entry, you see it spans from 1895 to 1910.
Arthur Blackwood. That's my what, second cousin? Is that what it is?
He was like
Third?
just Billy's cousin, so would that be second
Yeah, I
cousin?
think that would be my second cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there.
Yeah. Okay. What the fuck? The wide span of time.
You read the first entry.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. It says, Billy was right. Our ancestor was into something strange. I need answers.
Billy was right was almost exactly what I said earlier today. Like, holy shit, Billy was right. Which is kind of a funny thing. Anyway, what were you saying?
That was it.
I read on. Okay.
The second entry kind of goes on to I'll just say that you kind of read the journal.
Yeah.
And you learn that he basically, from that point, he had an interest in the occult. He began to kind of peruse it. He joined a esoteric order of some sort. And you read on, and it's a whole deluge of information. You kind of stop for a moment, because after reading for a little bit and go back into the parlor, find a seat, a little dusted off, and begin just kind of rolling into it as you do. As you kind of read over these events, you slowly begin forming a picture of an organization that Blackwood and Merriweather started as a small investigative firm. They once they were established there, they joined the Order of Silver Twilight, which is an esoteric order which believes in hermeticism and mysticism, a balance between the body, the mind, and the soul, in order to be able to control these esoteric magics, as it were, or mystical forces. There they met Ellsworth and created a bit of a invisible partnership with him, quickly transforming the private agency into a more of a, well, the basically detective agency into a private agency policing occult activities. Through that, they had multiple experiences, including one with a Michael Thomas, where he was experimenting on his son Gregory. But goes on, and the information learned from that was used in an experiment of some sort called Project Morpheus.
Project Morpheus.
And this is
What the fuck?
It was conducted at facilities called the Garden and the Greenhouse. It seems that the Garden burnt down about a year or two after it was built. But they rebuilt it, relocated it, and continued doing research. Many of the ethical reviews and early documents described patients being reduced into coma-like states or sleeping sickness after certain experiments were conducted. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying fuck.
As you just let me know when you want to stop.
No, I'm keep going, man. This is insane.
He mentions various you learn about various expense reports from various archaeological expeditions in Peru, Kenya, Cairo, and Australia. As you look up, the sunlight fades as a whole day has already passed in your research.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like time means nothing to Will right now. He is just like
Fair.
Into it, committing as much of this to memory as possible.
As he kind of takes a walk around, eyes the hatch kind of coldly as he
what
walks
time
by. Is it? You started late, so it's probably the first.
I've been like reading all night.
Yeah, it's probably the first
Okay.
bit of light of morning.
So I'm gonna decide to not go into the spooky hatch in the spooky night.
That's fair.
And do that in the morning time. But I guess I'll try to get some sleep and save the rest of the reading in the hatch for the next day.
Okay. And as you kind of step outside into the parlor again, well, you're in the parlor, my bad. As you look at the files that you haven't even touched, you realize that this journal is probably just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I'll have to spend...
And I would say maybe you begin pinning your first notes to the beginnings of a evidence board on the wall.
And
before
as I'm like looking at all this stuff, I can't help but think like back to the team that I left at the start at the firehouse of like they need to know this information, and like I can't even sort through it all.
Yeah.
Like maybe I should actually am I about to go back to that? Oh my god. He's like doing a little self-talk.
Gotcha.
But I'll keep going with the journals.
And as he does so, he reads through the rest of the journal. I have something to reveal more later. But,
Sure.
As kind of he sleeps for the first day, he gets into the cycle of reading, eating pickled foods and canned foods in between while taking breaks. And the days slowly pass. These as he taps into the files in the cabinets, you find all manner of internal paperwork, a treasure trove of just raw information, from complaints to company policies into accounts and transfers and stuff like that. You've noticed that
Gold mine.
and there's a pattern amongst all these documents. They're related more or less to the sins of Weatherwood. Covered up incidents, hostile takeovers, unethical experimentation, the works. And as the days kind of bleed into one another, and the hatch kind of looms nearby as you glance at it once in a while, the evidence board slowly collects. And you have a better picture of what's going on. There is the Project Morpheus and a Al-Azif, which is the Book of the Dead, seem to be two major players in this whole web.
And Ellsworth.
Ellsworth seems to
That's
be
a name I know.
Yes, Ellsworth keeps cropping up, as he was the project lead of Project Morpheus.
Mm-hmm.
And he also has commissioned all the archaeological expeditions in search for...
Isn't he running for... Is he the one running for governor or someone else?
That is the man running for governor, correct.
Yet. And so a lot of this then details Ellsworth's, like, trying to get this Book of the Dead, then. And I could surmise that that's what these archaeological things are for.
Yes, that for sure you can put together. And then as far as for the Project Morpheus, the purpose is one of those weird... seems theoretical.
Project Morpheus, but then...
It seems like a way to manipulate the collective subconscious is the mission statement.
Subconscious? What the fuck does that mean? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind
what
of
else?
gibberish to you.
So, about what date have I reached in the logs and my research then?
What day?
Like, what year, I guess, have I read up through?
As far as this goes, this is... You've read up to probably 1900, 1901.
Okay. All right.
Or 1902. Because 1902, you read back into the journal a little bit. You learn that Ellsworth took over the Order of Silver Twilight as the leader, and within a year they basically dissolved the organization and absorbed all its assets and resources.
I see.
And then using that, he was able to deduce these locations for these archaeological digs.
I see. Well, I mean, is there more to the journal and records?
Yes. I did have a different way of... I had a... Yeah. As you kind of do the research and kind of everything blends together, there is just one thing that you haven't really checked.
Okay.
Whatever's in the cellar.
Okay, well, I've been putting it off.
It's about day like 6, 7.
6 days here? Shit. All right. I'll go and open the door. The hatch door and look down. Before I go down, I want to do something though.
Sure. As you look down,
As
it's just you see the white gravel on the floor and a
yeah,
couple wooden shelves.
so I'll need to bring a lantern down there probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to find something to block the door before I go down. I don't want it to shut on me and me be stuck here where nobody knows I'm here.
Well,
So is there like a sheet or?
Yeah. You can. It is one of those that kind of collapses fully back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to put like a piece of furniture.
Yeah. I want to make sure that there's something
on top
there
of it?
so it does. Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. Yeah, you do so. You
Okay.
kind of drag the armchair over, the leather armchair, and just kind of like prop it up on top. Check it, sit on it. It's good. Not going anywhere.
All right. I'll grab a lantern and light it and go down with the knife
Fair.
as well. And I'm going down there. I'm freaked out at the dark.
That's fair.
Spooky ass fucking hatch.
As you head downstairs, and the metallic clinks of the ladder as you drop into the root cellar. You stoop under the wooden timbers overhead as the white shell gravel crunches under your feet. There's a faint smell of rotting eggs that lingers about the chilly air. As you hold up the lantern, you illuminate dusty shelves holding jars, small boxes, and other knickknacks around you. In the corner of the cellar, in front of you, kind of, there's a bit of gravel dug up in the half-light.
All right, well, I guess I take a moment scanning the room. And it's all gravel, you said?
Yeah, the floor is all gravel.
Okay. And is there any, like, doors or anything I see in here?
As you kind of peek around the foundation, nope. The only door is that hatch.
Just the above hatch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I maybe did I see anything else in the room? I maybe missed it for a second there. Can you give me the description one more time?
Oh yeah. As you kind of enter, it's just a root cellar. There's kind of the boughs, the timbers above you. There's dusty shelves just holding all manner of like jars and small boxes and knickknacks around you, kind of built into the wall.
Okay.
And in the corner of the cellar, there's just the gravel is dug up and away from something kind of in the half light.
Oh. I'll slowly approach the spot that's been dug, kind of hold out the lantern and to see if I can make out was someone trying to dig something out? Were they trying to dig deep? Like what? Yeah, I'll inspect the dig site.
In the corner, as you kind of approach the corner, you see burnt out black candles surrounding a shattered sigil on the floor. There's a rune a large rune inscribed into it.
A large rune?
Yes. But it looks like it's been shattered with like a sledgehammer or something.
It's been shattered.
Yes.
The fuck? I've never seen anything like that before, I'll bet, huh?
You've seen this, like, things like the rune, but nothing quite like in this form. No.
Yeah. Strange. I'll take out my journal and kind of like do a rough sketch of what the rune looks like.
Okay.
So I could, show it to someone else later in the future.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else of noteworthy down here?
The burnt out black candles are surrounding it, but other than that, It's just
Burned
a,
out black candles, huh?
yeah.
Uh,
Other than that, it's just a really dusty old cellar. Nothing,
all right.
nothing too crazy as far as you can tell.
Well, I am glad to get the fuck out of there. And I climb out.
The temperature visible. Well, you feel the temperature rise as you exit.
Mhm.
You kind of nudge the recliner off, or not the recliner, the armchair off, and swing the hatch closed once more, and head off to bed. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just going, whew. These Will's glad to get out of there. Oop, shit. Sorry,
As
nudge my whole desk.
at night, as you drift off to sleep, the great unconsciousness takes you. You hear crows about the air, and waves echo nearby. Your eyes flutter open to find yourself on an island in a vast sea of mist and ethereal light.
Okay. An island? Am I like sleeping on sand, like by the shore?
Yeah. And
Okay.
on the island itself, there's cedar and maple trees. But behind you on the water itself, the vast sea has a bit of a purple hue to it that softly reflects the gloaming sky above.
Like, kind of look around and dust myself off and stand up. Like, where am I? Rubbing my eyes, like, is this a dream? Has
And
to be.
as you kind of like walk up into the island a little bit, you see crows perched on among the branches.
Mhm.
And
I'm gonna call out, hello? Is there anyone here?
the crows stop squawking for a moment as you say the words and then start again as the air falls silent again.
So I'll wander into the woods. Do I see like any paths or anything? Like,
There's a single path that leads back,
Mhm.
and it's not too dense of a wood. As you kind of start to head back only about 50 feet, you begin to see a clearing ahead.
I'll go explore the clearing.
As you pass through the birch and maple trees and the crow's call above you, you pass into clearing and spot the same cabin that you just were staying in here.
Weird.
But it's different. It's without the overgrowth. Almost like
Huh.
a pristine memory.
Weird. I'll go looking through, see if I could find like a window, and I want to look inside to see if it's like also the inside is the same.
As you peek through the window, you see a innumerable menagerie of articles and photos, handwritten notes plastered the wall, with tangle webs of string threading each one together. It's the same layout, but the furniture's all different.
Huh.
Well, I want to say that it's different, it's just located in different areas.
I see. Yeah, it's like rearranged.
Yeah. You do notice that the armchair that you just moved earlier is sitting in the center. It looks like there's somebody sitting in it, faced away from you.
I'll knock on the door.
As you knock on the door, you notice it's already open.
I guess I'll push it open then and see if I can recognize the person sitting in the chair.
As you enter and approach the older man sitting in the center of the parlor. He has salt and pepper hair, and he has a bit of a grizzled, exhausted look. You don't recognize him personally, but you have seen lots of pictures of him in the last week. This is Arthur Blackwood.
Arthur? Arthur? And I'll say it.
What? You with the crows?
The crows? No, hey, it's me. I'm your family. It's me, Billy's son. It's Will.
Crows. If you're here, this is the second visitor. That's 2 in the last 4 years.
Second visitor? Who is the first visitor?
You have his eyes. What did you say his name was?
Billy? Billy Graves?
I believe that's right. Sorry. My memory isn't what it once was.
Yeah, he's your cousin.
Don't look right. Are you them?
Them? I'm just Will.
But
who's them?
Them. They're after the book. They know. The crows know. It's you're here, the other visitor. It's only a matter of time.
The book? Are you talking about the Al-Azif?
You are them.
No, I'm not.
How do you know?
I read your journal. You left it back at the estate.
Those were.
Yeah.
How did Billy find me?
I don't know, but you know Billy. He finds everything.
What do you want?
Look, I'm trying to figure out. It's my mom. She's asleep. She won't wake up. I just want to help her. I just want to figure out what's going on here. Like,
You want answers?
I want answers, please.
You don't know what you ask.
Tell me, please. I'll understand. I'll keep up.
Come closer.
I move very slowly closer to him, like a step.
No, come down here.
I get a little closer. Okay, I lean. I go lean neck, like, so he's sitting, so I go kneel in front of him.
Okay. As you do that, a moment passes, and suddenly he clasps the side of your head and looks into your eyes. Nothing happens at first. You merely feel awkward in this moment, really, more than anything. But then you see it. Something just at the edge of his iris. Something.
What is it?
Deep. Your senses do a somersault as you feel yourself get pulled in before his eyes close and he breaks the moment. As you blink, he's suddenly younger, more lucid. pulls out a cigarette, begins smoking as he speaks. As he does, visions and memories not your own flash across your synapse. I realized Billy was right. I needed answers. My search led me to a fellow named Merriweather, and together we formed Weatherwood. In that moment, he morphs from a cheap suit into a hermetic robe. We joined the esoteric order of Silver Twilight to expand our understanding and our capabilities. There we met Ellsworth, an ambitious and connected fellow. He offered us funding and contracts, and Weatherwood flourished. It wasn't long before he became our silent partner. He started to change. He morphs from the robes into a more expensive suit. They funded an independent scientist named Thomas conducting experiments on his kid, or Gregory. Had to shut it down and put the kid in the system. They took what they learned from Thomas and upscaled it into an experiment called Project Morpheus. It was conducted on asylum patients and undesirables on a volunteer basis. He kind of sighs for a moment. While that was going, Ellsworth used our weight to take over the Order and absorb all its archives and assets. He used its resources to find potential locations of the Al-Azif, Book of the Dead. He began expeditions all over the world in his search, and in the meantime, we did 10 years of trials and tribulations with Project Morpheus. But I eventually managed to create a life support system for the subjects. Within a year, we had our first and only surviving specimen. A girl was born in 1907. The mother survived. He morphs and ages greatly as he kind of talks. He goes from expensive suit to casual attire. The next year, Ellsworth and I found the Al-Azif in an undisturbed tomb in Cairo. Unbeknownst to us, an undead beast kind of lurked in the tomb, and Ellsworth fled, closing off the tomb and leaving me for dead. Managed to escape, but by the time I made it back to civilization, I learned about the event in Tunguska. He morphs into a grizzled, bearded man. After investigating, I learned he traveled there to summon an old one, and subsequently leveled 830 square miles of forest in the process. I knew I couldn't fix things at this point, but I needed to do something. I went back under the guise of death, makes it easy. So I freed the girl and her mother and destroyed the life support systems I created to support their experiments. They got away, I think. I then offered Thomas revenge against Ellsworth. He helped me steal the book. Hide it.
Steal the book.
From Ellsworth indefinitely. All in exchange for this lucky ring. And he kind of like thumbs over the black stone ring. Offered the djinn freedom in exchange for carrying one thing with it home. The book. Thomas ensured he received the book on this end and got the ring from my unconscious buddy. I received the book in the dream and broke the binding with it and the power it had on the ring. Now I keep the book safe, and the ring is just a ring. He kind of sits back down as he kind of withers back into the version you met when you walked in. It's as if your memories fed him for a temporary amount of time. He looks worse than he did before.
Yeah. What about the... Jesus, what about the sleeping people? How do I help the sleeping people?
I'm tired.
I know, but I need to know. It's important.
And it's time.
Time for what?
It's time for you too. And you snap awake as the early morning light dimly peers through the window. With this knowledge, you pack up. You hope there was a phone here, but you're going to have to make the trek.
I think I will have to. Fuck.
And you eventually make it to a gas station that lets you borrow a phone.
Mm-hmm.
And you make your way back to New York. With everything, all your knowledge in the envelope in your rucksack. You take one last look at the cabin before heading out, executing. And as we kind of fast forward a little bit, evening falls as the incandescent lights flit overhead. A motor carriage rolls to a stop in the docks. You jog down the street towards the firehouse, double checking for any unwanted eyes or tails as you approach. Seeing that you're clear, you pull out the battered envelope as you slow to a stop at the side door and pound on it with your fist.
You can see like the door opening up to the team. I'm like looking a little sheepish. I'm gonna say, guys, you won't believe what I've learned.
And we're gonna have to pick that up next session, because as the heavy iron door squeals open to reveal Rory and the others looking at you, that's where we're gonna end.
It reveals what?
To reveal Rory and the others looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're gonna end today's session. And then I'm supposed to hit the button, but I'm missing it because there's so many panels now. There we go. Hold on.